Here is the ACC. Here's Notre Dame. That's what Notre Dame has been doing to ACC football for almost a decade. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down, or maybe sometimes literally break, we break down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis because of your contribution, your support. Please call me during our live call-in shows. And, of course, subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. Hit that bell for the notifications to know when we go live. All right, the Notre Dame agreement with the ACC, or the Notre Dame slapdown of the ACC on the football field and in the boardroom at the bargaining table. Let's look at this agreement, and then let's see how it's played out on the football field. Notre Dame and the ACC agreed that Notre Dame would join the ACC in, I believe, 15 sports. So pick your sport: lacrosse, women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, all these sports that nobody watches for the most part. Notre Dame has joined the ACC. Great addition for Notre Dame. They join a really respectable conference, and the ACC gets Notre Dame in everything but football. Can you imagine the SEC or the Big Ten making that type of an agreement with anyone? No. They have too much self-respect. They have too much pride, too much self-respect, too much self-value to be belittled by a school to say, you know what, we're going to use you for all these non-revenue sports and men's basketball. We're going to use you for our benefit, but football's too important. We do our own thing in football. The SEC would not put up with that. The Big Ten, probably the Big 12 and the Pac-12, I don't know. But I certainly know that the Big Ten and the SEC, again, too much power, too much authority, too much self-respect, too much pride, too much tradition to say we're going to be abused by some school that's going to say, you know what, we'll pick and choose and we'll play whatever sports we want to play. All right, so this started in 2013, Notre Dame participating in all these other sports in the ACC. Their first season of multiple games played against the ACC in football was 2014. Since then, Notre Dame has gone 39-9 against the ACC. That's about a 80% winning percentage, a little bit better than that, which is really good, but it's not unbelievably good. Notre Dame wins 70-75% of its games anyway, so they've not abused the ACC overall. They got off to a bit of a rough start. Of course, they weren't as good of a football program then under Brian Kelly, and especially in 2016 had a down year in going 4-8. But get this, and that 39-9 includes 2 postseason losses against Clemson in the 2018 college football playoff, which should have been an ACC championship game, and in the 2020 ACC championship game. More on that in just a second. Notre Dame has beaten the ACC now 27 consecutive times. They have played the ACC in the regular season 27 straight times and won all the games, 27-0. That's ridiculous. And we still won't join your conference, so we just beat up your conference. All right, let's go back to 2020. I outlined this at the time when college football was in trouble. The pandemic was running wild, and there was much speculation that there would not be a college football season. It was a very real incident situation that faced college football, and each conference made its own determination. Well, Notre Dame was out to dry. Notre Dame plays an independent schedule. They're dependent on the other conferences and the teams within those conferences. So if, for example, for a long time it didn't look as though the Big Ten was going to play, gone are those games that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish had scheduled against the Big Ten. The Pac-12 scheduled very late. Okay, the ACC saved Notre Dame. And the ACC should have saved Notre Dame, but it should have come with a caveat. The caveat should have been, sign a 20-year contract and we will save your football season. You need to join us for at least 20 years. Signed on the dotted line. Let's amend the agreement and go with a 20-year football contract, and we're going to save your football season for 2020. Instead, what the ACC did, and this was almost, it would have been a thing of beauty, almost the ultimate embarrassment to the ACC, that they allowed Notre Dame, they threw Notre Dame a life jacket with no reciprocation other than we get to play you and our TV ratings go up, of course, and we make more money because Notre Dame goes to places like Georgia Tech and Duke that can't draw flies. But when Notre Dame shows up, they fill the place up or they get a decent crowd. That the ACC benefits from the money aspect of the Notre Dame agreement in playing 5 or 6 games a year. But on the other side, in 2020, this almost turned out to be the ultimate burn that Notre Dame's invited into the ACC, gets to the ACC championship game, wipes out the entire schedule going 10-0. They do lose in the ACC championship game to Clemson. So Clemson spares again. Clemson saved the ACC all these times against Notre Dame, beating them in the playoffs in 2018. Beating them in a close game in Death Valley 2015, in which Notre Dame would have gone to the college football playoff. And of course, then the 2020 conference championship game that spared the ACC from the embarrassment that I was hoping and praying for, that Notre Dame would have said, you know what? Thanks for the life jacket. We're going 11-0, going to win the ACC, and then say, you know what? ACC champions, we're saying goodbye. We took advantage of you again, and this time for one season, and then see ya, goodbye. So that's incredibly pathetic of the ACC right there, to allow the team to come in for one season, abuse their schedule, abuse their teams for 10 consecutive games, almost win the conference championship, and then say, see ya, thanks. And now we've got another insult at the ACC, courtesy Notre Dame. Here in 2022, the ACC championship game participants have already been decided. It is Clemson and it's North Carolina. Guess what is the one thing that Clemson and North Carolina share here in 2022? If they both win these final 2 weeks of the season, they will arrive at the ACC championship game with sterling, sparkling 11-1 records. Clemson 11-1, their one loss. Oh yeah, to Notre Dame by 3 scores. In a game that wasn't that close. North Carolina, 11-1, their one loss to Notre Dame by 3 scores. Blowout game. They both lose. So the champion of the ACC, whether it's Clemson or North Carolina technically or officially, it's really Notre Dame, who also has a win against Syracuse in blowout fashion and also is taking on Boston College and is a big favorite coming up this week. It's the ongoing saga of the abuse of the ACC by Notre Dame, outlined here at the Voice of College Football. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media, and subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. The ACC has no self-respect.